Let's take a break, shall we?
Thank you.
Or better still, let me take you to lunch. By the time you walk from here to Sid's, the kinks will be gone.
No, Chad, thank you, but I can't.
It'll be a big help to me. The more I can study your face, the better your portrait will be.
I think I'm gonna call it a day. You have seen my face enough for one morning.
The more I see your face, the better I like it.
You are amazing. You keep forgetting that I have a boyfriend.
Oh, I haven't forgotten. As a matter of fact, I think about him all the time, but since he's leaving to direct a musical in Cincinnati...
No, thank you, just the same.
Same time tomorrow?
I'll let you know. Chad, how did you know Gavin was directing a musical? I never mentioned that this morning.
You must have. I mean, how else would I have known?
So when can we expect a ship?
What happened?
Oh, I don't know. There was somebody out there when I got out there. No, wait a second, Chad. Don't you understand? Gavin is out there after him. We've got to go find him.
He got away.
Are you all right?
It's a lucky thing you came by when you did.
Yeah, it is. Thank you. Except, why are you here? I wasn't expecting you.
I just wanted to check to see how the portrait was coming.
What happened?
I didn't do it. We can't use violence.
So you see, she thought I was dead as well.
My dear young man, she doesn't even know that you exist right up to this moment. And that's why I want you to do me a very great favor.
What's that?
I want you to give me a chance to prepare her. This is going to be a terrible shock to her, Skylar. And heaven knows she's had enough of that recently.
Well, it can't be avoided. Would you mind if I help myself to a drink?
No, not at all. I know it can't be avoided, but it could be softened if she knows what to expect. I would have told her before, but I wasn't sure she was well enough.
Where is she now?
She's upstairs asleep. But I can assure you, I can absolutely promise you. Oh, my God. Oh, Raven, dear.
Oh, boy, I think I just had the longest sleep of my life.
Let me pour you some coffee.
No. I don't want anything right now. I just had the strangest awakening because I had this dream, and then when I woke up, I think it was real because I saw Sky. He was real, wasn't he?
Yes, my dear, he is quite real and quite genuine.
But he's supposed to be dead.
I mean that he is Skylar Whitney, my nephew. The man who should have come back to Monticello last year and claim his name and fortune, but didn't, because he was too ill to leave his hospital bed in Switzerland.
I thought he was my Sky.
Raven, please try to understand. You're a stranger to him, a complete stranger. He never saw you before last night.
But he had my husband's face.
On the contrary, it was quite the opposite. It was your husband who stole his face and had plastic surgery done in Switzerland.
So that makes me the woman who stole his fortune.
As soon as you are feeling strong enough, the thing we must do is talk this whole thing over with a good attorney.
Oh, boy, I'm gonna need some good advice.
And not just because of Schuyler's claim on the estate. Surely you must know that there is the question of culpability here. Your husband was guilty of a very serious criminal offense. It was grand larceny on a grand scale.
He didn't rob Schuyler Whitney. We both thought he was dead.
The unfortunate thing, Raven, is that you knew about the deception.
I think I'm gonna have to talk to somebody like Mike Carr.
Mike Carr is the district attorney. You need a lawyer of your own.
No, I need a friend. Hello, Mike Carr, please. Raven Whitney. Thank you. I just hope this is really Mike Carr, because you want to know something? I just don't even know anymore if I know the difference between illusion or reality.
I dare say you will learn the difference very soon.
Mike?
Raven, it's good to hear your voice. How are you?
I'm all right. I heard that you and Nancy were over here. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you.
That's perfectly all right. It's more important for you to get your strength back. Then we can discuss what has to be discussed.
No, I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you as soon as possible.
Well, all right, I do have a luncheon date, but it's purely social. I can cancel that. I'll come right over.
Oh, thanks, Mike. Thanks a lot.
Jim, I want the truth. Do you really like it?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Good. Then I'm glad I didn't cancel that appointment. I needed to do something drastic.
All right. This looks nice.
I'm glad you came back, though. I really need to be with somebody.
Well, it wasn't a hardship. You know what I think?
What?
I think when you get over being sad about this thing in Lucerne, you're gonna get mad.
Oh, yeah? I don't think so.
Well, you ought to. This guy Jefferson Brown's the turkey of the year, as far as I'm concerned. He was false with you, from the beginning to the end.
He really did something incredible, didn't he?
Yes. He stole 2 identities. Schuyler Whitney's and mine. I can understand Schuyler Whitney's, but why mine?
Could it have been a coincidence, Jim?
No, that biography was too accurate. The theater, poetry, Marines. I mean, that's too strange to be a coincidence.
It's too unique.
You loved him, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess I did. In an 18-year-old sort of way.
Well, that's why you're so hurt right now. If he was false in his identity, he must have been false in his feelings.
Well, I'm sure about that. Hey, it was a big game for Mr. Jeff Brown. I'm sure he found it very amusing. And then he comes back to Monticello with Sky Whitney and laughs at me all over again.
Hey. 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 The end. Forget him. Forget him. Besides, he's dead.
You're right.
You know what else?
What?
I really can't blame that guy, Jefferson Brown, too much.
Why not?
Because it got me to Monticello.
Are you really happy about being in Monticello? After everything that's happened?
Well, I met you.
That's true. We never would have met otherwise.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have what's between us now. A tuna fish sandwich.
Worrying about it. I'm okay. Just needed to sit down and relax.
Sometimes people have delayed reactions to something like this.
This ever happened before, Gavin? You used to work at the studio.
Yeah. There was a murder.
You're kidding.
No, a man named Gunther Wagner was killed here, and Gavin thought that he was responsible.
Yeah, I remember hearing something about that. So you're the guy, huh?
That's right. So you see, Chad, I'm sort of a dangerous fellow.
Well, I'll be sure and stay out of your way.
Yeah, you do that.
And I'll also try and make sure that something like this doesn't happen again. So next time you leave, Jody, I'll go with you.
I've got a better idea. I think next time Jody wants to leave, I'll come and pick her up.
Well, that's not going to be possible, is it? Jody tells me you're leaving for Cincinnati.
Yeah, that's right. Maybe Jody shouldn't come here at all while I'm gone.
Oh, you needn't worry. I'll make sure nothing like this happens again.
Okay, enough. I am fine. Wonderful, okay? I do not need male protection, so stop worrying about it.
Is that why you showed up here, Gavin? To see if Jody needed protection?
I just came here to see how the portrait was coming. I'm very interested in art. Can I take a look?
This is just a preliminary sketch. I put the canvas away. Besides, you can't tell much from the first day's sitting anyway.
Yeah, well, at this rate, it's going to take weeks to finish this portrait.
That's not unusual.
Well, wait a second. Do you really think it's going to take that long? Chad, I have a job, remember?
That's what I meant, because you can only sit a couple of days a week. Of course, if you could spare a couple hours on the weekend, that would help a lot.
Our weekends are very busy.
Well, they won't be your weekend soon, will they?
I'm sorry, Viva. I bungled it. I handled the whole thing like an amateur.
You are an amateur, Pietro. Aren't we all?
It looks so simple in the training manual. You put one hand over their mouth, another around their waist, a few quick moves, you got them where you want them. Nobody told me I was going to get bitten and scratched and kicked in the shins.
It was just bad luck.
Let's face it, Viva. You don't take a math major and turn him into a commando overnight.
No! The real problem was her boyfriend coming in at that moment. Now, what we really needed were 3 people.
Any suggestions? How about old Mr. Keys?
Oh, come on. We couldn't get him out of the bookshop.
That's right. The bookshop.
What?
Viva, the bookshop. Maybe we can use that.
No, we're going to take her there.
Why can't we get her to meet us there already?
But how can we manage that?
We'll send her an invitation, of course.
To what, a book sale?
We'll intrigue her. We'll make a unique invitation, so unique she can't possibly refuse.
Are you crazy? We can't put anything in writing.
Listen, we'll cut out words and letters from newspapers and magazines and paste them on a piece of paper. Send that. That's what real kidnappers do.
Well, it's appropriate. Because that's what we are, aren't we?
The whole picture. Try to understand everyone's motivations for doing what they did.
You don't think I understand their motivations? They wanted my money.
No, I don't believe that's completely true. Not for most of the people involved in this prank.
I don't even really want to talk about this anyway. I have a much bigger problem, and I need your help desperately.
I understand. I didn't mean to change the subject. Go ahead.
The thing is, if I don't do something soon, I'm not going to have any money. I'm not going to have this house, and I'm not even going to have my own name.
Are you talking about the man who claims to be the real Schuyler Whitney?
Yes.
Tell Mike what happened to you when you were in the jail cell and believed that you were arrested.
Oh, God, it was horrible. First of all, they made me think that I was going to have to face a jury trial and that I might possibly be convicted of murder.
I do know what happened to you, at least until your flight to New York and then your return here.
Then Smiley Wilson stuck me in a cell with no food, no water, no electricity, no nothing. Then Spencer Varney shows up all of a sudden and says he can help me.
Now, just how did he intend to do that?
By having a signed confession that he was going to give me, a confession written by Johnny Gentry, who was the only one that knew that I didn't kill Jinx Avery.
Of course you didn't kill Jinx Avery.
But I didn't know that at the time. I thought I did. So I desperately needed this confession. And he wouldn't give it to me unless I signed my own confession.
About your husband and the fact that he was an imposter.
Yes. So you see, I had to do it. I had to say that I wasn't Mrs. Schuyler Whitney.
I know this wasn't Vince's idea, Cliff. It just couldn't be.
Why not? We both agree he's stupid. What stupider thing could he do than fire you? Who's he going to use now as an attorney? He'll probably have to get one appointed by the court.
No, I'll just bet he ends up with some very expensive counsel, paid for secretly by the Endicott's, of course.
Dee Dee, what you're saying is slander, you know? You could get sued. You're going to need a good lawyer. Here. Here's my card.
Cliff, this is no time for jokes. Look, this wasn't a coincidence. I go by the Endicott's, and I simply suggest that Vince might have had something to do with insurance fraud, and the next thing you know, he's firing me from his case?
What are you getting so upset about? Yeah, he probably would stiff you for the fee anyway. He did the last time.
That's not the point.
What is the point?
Look, Cliff, you were the first one who suggested insurance fraud, and that's the only possible reason that Vince would have for stopping robbing apartments and starting to rob art galleries. No, there is a crime that has been committed here, and it has not been reported.
Dee Dee, we are defense attorneys. It's our job to defend people, not report crimes.
I recall you're being pretty anxious about suing the Endicott's when Jody's painting was stolen.
Well, that was different. My defendant would have been Jody, not some punk kid.
Oh, so there's a difference.
No. Of course there's no difference.
You're right. Well, maybe you could call the insurance company and offer to prove fraud against the undercuts.
I don't have any proof. The only evidence I have is circumstantial.
Well, I got a better idea. We'll call Calvin.
No, why would I want to do that?
Because he's a cop, and when you want an investigation, you call a cop.
Well, there are plenty of other cops. Why Calvin?
Because he's the best, because he knows the case, because
okay,
he's
so you call him.
Dee Dee, I know you're not talking to the guy, but this is business.
As a matter of fact, neither one of us can talk to him at the moment.
Why not?
Because he's in New York. He went there to see his wife. They have very important things to talk about.
I'm sorry. I didn't know. Well, how do you feel about that?
No, Calvin, you couldn't have guessed I was pregnant. Somebody had to tell you, and it's very easy to guess who.
Look, that doesn't matter now,
My
does it?
ex-friend stopped in to see you, didn't she, on her way to Springfield? I should have guessed. Samantha came back here with a real smug look on her face.
Star, I came
Yeah, and she just felt you ought to know, so you can ask me to quit the show. Well, Miss Thing is in for a big surprise because the show's quitting the both of us.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
Means that the producers are shutting it down in 6 weeks anyway.
I see. So you will be coming home?
I don't see how I could get another job when I'm 3 months pregnant.
Well, I guess that settles it. You'll come home and take care of yourself and the baby. I'm assuming it's going to be a boy.
Say what?
You did promise me the first year we were married.
Seems like a long time ago, doesn't it?
I thought it was a really good year.
Yeah, it was, as where she is skull. Calvin, are you angry with me for not telling you about the baby myself?
I figured you'd tell me sooner or later. I didn't think you wanted him born in a trunk.
No. I wouldn't want that.
So you come home? We'll try again to make it work, both of us. We'll try real hard, okay?
No more Dee-Dees?
For the sake of the baby. Okay.
Hey, you know what I think's one of the worst things about all of this now? That poor man. He was telling me the truth that whole time.
What, the real Skylar Whitney?
He is the real Sky Whitney, Jim. I'm convinced. And he has that confession from Raven, which states that she and her husband were perpetrating a fraud.
Yeah. I've been really concerned that Raven was going to press charges, but it sounds like she's got charges of her own to deal with.
You're not kidding. I wouldn't be surprised if Sky did that.
You knew Sky in Switzerland, didn't you?
Yes, and it was a long time ago.
Does Sky know that?
I don't know. I guess so. Oh, stop it.
So Spencer Varney's real purpose was not to get your money, but to get your confession.
That's true, Mike. He was helping Skylar all along, and that's why he took the job in his house in the first place, after Gunther died. But there is one thing that's very important for you to understand. Raven did not know about the deception until after they were married. Isn't that true?
Of course it is. So tell me, Mike, what does all this mean? Can he just come in here and take everything? I mean, can he come in here and take my house away and take my cars out of the garage and take all my money out of the bank and strip me of my name? Can he possibly do that?
Raven, If it really is the truth, if he can prove his identity, there is no way of preventing him from taking what's rightfully his.
What about possession? Isn't that 9/10 of the law or something like that?
9 points of the law is the phrase, but in this case, it doesn't apply.
Why not? It can't be that simple. I don't care who he is. He can't come into my house and just take everything. He can't do it. You can't let him.
You've got to understand, I'm no longer in private practice.
I don't care. You have to help me.
To be perfectly frank, Raven, I don't think I can help in this situation.
Why not?
If he is who he says he is, and your husband was an imposter.
It's not true. My husband was Schuyler Whitney. This man is the imposter.
What in heaven's name are you saying?
It's the truth.
Now, wait a minute, Raven. What about your confession? Are you recanting that confession?
Yes, I am, because it was not true. I was forced into making that confession. Because I was under stress, because I wanted to get that paper from Spencer. But this is the real truth.